Hello and welcome to the Mystic Mondays YouTube channel. I'm Grace and today we are doing a deck unboxing of the OK Tarot by Adam J. Kurtz. And I also had Adam as a podcast guest on the Grace podcast where we talked about themes of the Fool Tarot card, leaping off the cliff into the unknown, facing your fears and starting new beginnings. Make sure to check out that podcast episode linked here. If you are interested in creating your own deck as a multi-deck creator, I do have a course membership where I teach you how to create your own deck from start to finish. It outlines every step of the deck creation process, including how to get started. Find out more about the Create Your Deck Club at cydc.mysticmondays.com. Welcome to another deck unboxing on the Mystic Mondays channel. We'll be looking at the deck box, guidebook, card art, as well as conducting a deck interview. And at the end of the video, we'll be doing a card pull for the collective to see what messages this deck wants to give you at this time. I am a deep believer that decks have different personalities, so we'll be using a deck interview spread from my Mystic Mondays Tarot journal. If you want to use this deck interview spread for yourself, the link is in the description box to view the blog article on mysticmondays.com. Let me know what you think about this deck by leaving a comment below. Like this video if you'd like to have this deck in your collection, and subscribe to this channel if you want to see more Mystic unboxings on your feed and in the inevitable future. Now let's get started.
Hello Mystics! Today we're doing a deck unboxing of the OK Tarot, the Simple Deck for Everyone by Adam J. Kurtz. So, if you haven't tuned in, I did have Adam on my podcast and we did talk about themes of the Fool card. And why I thought he would be a good guest for that episode is because I feel like this deck is very simple and this message kind of encapsulates that. It's not perfect, but it's okay, you know? And I think that's a really important message for anybody that considers themselves a perfectionist. I definitely have perfectionist type of qualities about myself, so I can definitely relate. So this is the guidebook with an introduction to card meanings by Kelsey Anderson. So inside the guidebook, we've got the keywords for each card. And yeah, so that's that. Let's look and see what is within this deck. So this deck was self-published at first. It was released as a Kickstarter, and then I think eventually Adam, had maybe approached the publisher or the publisher approached them. I'm not sure. I think we did talk about it in our podcast episode. But let's look at all the artwork. I definitely opened this deck before because I had Adam on my podcast and we did pull some cards during that interview. I believe I pulled cards for him instead of what I've... So we've got some stickers in here. Where I was like, this is a lot lighter. Okay. So if you want to tune into that episode, check it out. But these are all hand-drawn by Adam. And they're in his signature style. The cards are also very simple. They're hand-drawn. They've got like different hand-drawn borders as well if you look closely. And then the back of the cards are just pink. So it's just cardstock. There isn't anything additional, which, I feel like speaks to, hey, this is a simple deck. This is, my illustrated hand drawings on pink paper. And that is what this is, okay? And it is okay. This is the OK Tarot. I don't know why I'm flipping it, because the back of the cards are pink. I like that world card, actually. With line drawing, like, if you've ever been to, like, an art class or anything like that, the quality of line really matters and can really say a lot, so I'm very much feeling that in the world card there. So as you can see, it's fairly simple, you know. For someone who is a total beginner in tarot, like strangely enough, because it's so simple, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this to a beginner because you might not like fully understand what the meaning is if you don't know tarot at all. So like, let's say this is like 5 of Pentacles, but how does that differ from this, the 6 of Pentacles, like illustration wise? And we're ending with the Queen of Pentacles here. So now that the cards, they were already shuffled, but now that they're more shuffled, I'm gonna go ahead and do a deck interview with this deck. So every deck has its own personality, and I feel like this is definitely embedded with Adam's personality, which I would say is witty, quirky, sarcastic. So we've got the tarot deck interview from the Mystic Mondays Tarot Journal, which is a journal I created with Chronicle Books, and it is your guide to unlocking the transformative power of tarot. And we've got, you know, room for you to journal in here, to make notes about each card, keywords, and also to make notes about your tarot deck interviews. So we're going to use this deck to get the energy of this deck and see what comes up. So what is the energy of this deck? What is the energy of this deck? Queen of Swords. Okay. How can this deck best support me? How can this deck best support me? King of Cups. What is this deck's strengths? We've got 4 of Pentacles. And then, what is this deck's weakness? Is number 4. Temperance. In what realm will we best communicate? 7 of Cups. And the number 6 is, how will our relationship develop? 10 of Wands. What guidance can you offer me at this moment? 5 of Pentacles. Interesting. Alrighty, so I'm gonna refer to the guidebook as needed because I like to see what the author, you know, intended for the cards. So we've got a Queen of Swords here for the very first card, which is, what is the energy of this deck? So let me flip through the guidebook to find Queen of Swords. Analytical, perceptive, and straightforward. Yeah. I feel like this is asking for a logical perspective, and also I'm getting an energy of like boundaries as well. So this could be a good deck to use when wanting to put on my like rational thinking hat on. And then King of Cups is, how can this deck best support me? So emotional control and intelligence, tactful and tolerant. I think because like for me, King of Cups is all about like mastering your emotions. And I think that goes hand in hand actually in mastering, you know, your mental, I want to say mental capacity, but I think what I really mean is like, you know, checking in with yourself and your mental health. And I know within Adam's work, he actually talks a lot about mental health, you know, as an artist. And so that makes sense that that's coming up here. King of Cups, I think the strength or like how this could best support me is just kind of like helping me look at things rationally and honoring my emotions at the same time. And then number 3, what is this deck's strengths? Is 4 Pentacles. Okay, Pentacles is at the back. We've got security, frugal, possession. You know, I'm getting an energy of grounding oneself, but also like keeping your cards close to your chest is kind of like what's coming through. We have 3 cup cards, 2 pentacle cards. Actually, I got confused because this is temperance, but we have 2 cups here. 2 cup cards, 2 pentacle cards, 1 swords card, 1 wands card, and then 1 major arcana card. Okay. Yes, so I think the strength of this deck is definitely like grounding myself is kind of what I'm getting from this for Pentacles card in this position, and then Temperance for this deck's weakness. Self-control, detachment, moderation. Self-control, moderation, detachment. I think like there could be a weakness in like how to balance things, or like this wouldn't be the deck to go to be like, how can I balance my life? This is more of the deck to go to maybe to deal with more like mental health concerns or mental health type questions. And then for in what realm will we best communicate, there's 7 of Cups. So confusion, illusions, emotional choices. Yeah, so I feel like if I am feeling confused, or if I feel like I'm being pulled in directions because I'm feeling like maybe emotional about something, I think this deck can like help get me in check and, offer like a logical, rational way of looking at something. And then number 6 is how will our relationship develop, which is 10 of Wands. Burden, heavy load, responsibilities. So I feel like this is less about balance because Temperance is in the weakness position, and then 10 of Wands is kind of like about dealing with things as they come and to kind of accept that things won't be in balance, or to redefine how I think of balance, because it's kind of like a juggling act, and that's kind of what I think about Temperance. It's kind of like the right ingredients for a recipe where, like, let's say you add 4 cups of sugar into a cookie recipe, and then another recipe only requires 2 cups of sugar along with chocolate chips and et cetera, and that's just kind of like an analogy of how things can become balanced to create something. And that's kind of how I'm feeling with this 10 of Wands, is that it's like never going to be perfect, but it's kind of like what the cards you're dealt with in the moment and how you deal with them. And then for number 7, what guidance can you offer me at this moment? We've got 5 of Pentacles. We've got rock bottom, insecurity, and illness. I suppose this is just like asking me, again, I do feel like this is a good deck to consult when feeling like I'm like not in a good place mentally. And I think the pops of pink can like help me feel more optimistic, or, just asking myself like, how can I heal or look at a situation differently and kind of like boost my, self-esteem or confidence around like these certain issues that are coming up. So that is what's coming up here with the OK Tarot and this deck interview spread. And now I am going to pull a card for the collective. I think these cards are fairly easy to shuffle. And spread. As I said that. Kind of like jaggedly spread. But anyways, okay, so what would be a good card for the collective? I'm feeling this one. Oh my god, my favorite. The Magician happens to be one of my tarot birth cards, so it will always hold a special place in my heart. But we've got concentration, manifestation, and talents. So I think of the Magician card as like a divine channel, because you've got to activate your imagination to be able to manifest in this world. And I think that's what the Magician does really well, because in the typical Rider-Waite, you would see like the 4 elements and, the figures channeling and using all of these elements to then alchemize and manifest something into physical reality. So I think this is very much about activating your imagination, activating that visionary side of yourself, and, really looking at how you can start implementing those things into your life so that you're actually bringing forth you know, what you're seeing imagination-wise into your reality. And if you're thinking about creating something, like if you're thinking about creating a deck as an example, take this as a sign that you're meant to go do that. So go do that thing, go after it, you can do it. This is absolute confirmation that you can absolutely make it happen, so make it happen. Thanks for tuning in. Leave a comment and let me know what you thought about this deck. You know, remember to like this video and subscribe to this channel to watch more deck unboxings and other videos. See you later. Bye! Like this video? Check out other deck unboxing videos, tarot lessons, as well as timeless readings on the Mystic Mondays YouTube channel. Thanks for catching this video and see you next time.